Harrier GR.1 A British 9.7 premium with a lot of flaws, but also a few greats. This was introduced a few years back in, I think it was New Power. It's got fairly average guns for the BR. We got the twin Aidens, 30mm here. I think they're Mark IV. Yeah, Mark IVs. They have an okay volume. The major issue is at this BR, it's a necessity to have flares and countermeasures, which this does not. That's the only thing that holds it back to its American counterpart, the Harrier 8 A and C, mainly the C. But there is one incredible thing about this jet, and it's its missiles. Now, when I say incredible, I kind of mean incredible in a way that it pulls, not in its effectiveness as an all-around missile. To be honest, it's okay, but the pull is insane. Let's just put it at that. For this BR, these SRAMs pull insane, and if you get like below 1 mile, then a target is dead. 20 Gs and they're gone. That's if they don't have any flares and they're unaware. The engine performance is it's okay. It's really good acceleration, so you can zoom off. But as soon as you start putting bombs on this, that's where it gets a little bit worse. And more of the supersonic afterburning jets can catch up to you very quickly. Another major limitation for this plane is its overheating issues. So if you have the throttle above 95%, then it doesn't really go well, and you overheat your engine and end up burning it to death. When I first got this jet, I did that once, and I learned never to do it again. The other thing is, it's a very interesting jet because it has VTOL capabilities, and it's one of the only few jets in the game that does it. There's a few Russian ones that have it, but this is the British one, primarily the only British one that has it. And we're going to take it out for a spin, so let's get into a game. Right, so we're about to load in here, and we're going to experience the insane acceleration of a Harrier. Let's go. So we've got a few of the AV-8A, which is the American version. We've got a Harrier GR.3, which is the upgraded version in the British tech tree. We've also got another fellow Harrier GR.1 out here. So, as you'll start to see, our engine's at 110% warm emergency power, hitting 722 degrees orange, which, yeah, isn't the best. That's the main holdback, so you've got to pull back to about 95%, and then you can keep on going. We're going to keep on climbing. Gonna keep on climbing out of here. So this jet's performance for a non-afterburning is probably one of the best in the game, specifically for acceleration. As you see, we're still increasing our speed here, pulling quite high AOA. These SRAMs are in a very interesting shell, which is primarily their deployment area, kind of like the five-streak missiles, which have rockets around them. So what I like to do in this jet is level off about midway through what you normally would in any other jet when you climb, so kind of the mid-tier area of the clouds here, because I found if you go any higher than this, then you get immediately blown up by something with missiles, R-60s such as some Russian planes, or you get completely destroyed by a bomber with missiles. We missed our first shot on this Ariete. This is another massive disadvantage of this jet, is you bleed energy as soon as you start turning. So I'm going to drop down to a lower altitude here, because I've got a missile locking onto me. Yeah. So as you just saw in that previous game, MiG-21 is probably the biggest threat to this plane. Most of everything else is easily manageable for this, but these missiles on the MiG-21, most variants are just pretty hard to avoid, especially without countermeasures. That's a major issue. We are burning our engines right now. One of the major playstyles with this specific Harrier is definitely either hanging back and waiting for fights to start, and then getting involved when they're either stalling out or in a low speed engagement where they haven't got enough energy to avoid your missiles. Another one is also just doing this, what I've done before in the previous game, and it didn't really seem to work out. So down here we've got a F4C. We're going to move into engage him. You've really got to start pre-turning in this, and especially without a radar, it makes it quite difficult, but he's pulling up. I don't know if he's aware of us. We're going to go full web here. This might be our first kill. So you see these missiles are just insane. If they hit him in that sort of way, it's just a kill. We have another jet here, which is very far ahead. But these missiles are trying. I probably shouldn't launch that like that, to be honest. But we're gonna get into an angle for a kill here pretty quickly. The pull is insane. I mean, it's it's unbeatable at close range. It really is. So we're not gonna have the Su-25. It is on us though. It isn't turning to us though, but he has good missiles. This T2 is not very great to engage. The turn rate is absolutely criminal on this plane still. It's been... I missed. That's embarrassing. What is that move? That should have been a really easy kill. I'm gonna use my VTOL here. The VTOL really slows you down though. Alright, so we're gonna get another missile kill. He ejected. I think we need to evacuate rapidly out of this. We have very low energy. That definitely helps. We got an AV-8C on us. We're gonna evade his leading shots. We're gonna try and swerve back in. I'm considering thinking he's going a lot faster than us, which means we could get a missile kill right about here. I'm gonna pull back on the engines. I think we're gonna move in for a missile kill. It should hit him. And it did. These missiles are just insane. We might hit the ground though. Although the acceleration is good, we don't want to get absolutely wiped out. I think we have to engage because he's going to try and engage us. I don't really want to be in a dogfight with something that has a way better frame than us. This might be quite difficult to pull off. I'm just relying on his absolutely horrendous aim for my survival right now. Just pull in some evasive wiggles. Try and get guns on. No. He's not pulling back into us. As I said, we've got a dip. And somebody got missiles off on us. I'm not sure quite where from, but that was a lot better than the first one. Alright, we have just taken off and somehow a Harrier with bombs is beating us in acceleration. I'm very confused how that's possible. So I've decided to do a little bit of a late climb on this one. Instead of climbing immediately, I've decided to gain some speed. Because of the fast acceleration of this non-afterburning jet, you can get to some pretty high speeds immediately after you take off. As you can see, you pull past anything on takeoff. So here we are, we're going to stay at this altitude. We've got multiple contrails showing exactly where we are. We are going to turn into this MiG-21. I don't see any other targets, just so he can't get missiles on us. Because once you get locked up with no countermeasures, it's horrendous. We've got a Sea Vixen launching a missile about 5 miles away from him, which is certainly an interesting choice. I'm hoping, we've got a Swift F7 in here. I'm hoping that we get him while he's in low energy, either coming out of a dive or something. Okay, I was not reading that correctly. Right, this MiG-21 is getting away from us very fast, which isn't helpful towards my cause. Certainly not. We're going to try and gain some speed, and I'm hoping that he is going to try. I'm not going to shoot the missile until I know that he's like not really... Okay, we got a MiG-21, we've got a LIM 5P on us. We're gonna try and turn away from him purely because I don't want to engage that. I'm gonna try and engage this jet down here. This is what it's perfect at. Just a slowly approaching and just dominating. I miss my shots. This Lim 5P is still directly behind us. Oh, we got two. Yeah, this is the issue. I'm getting... Another very impressive thing about this plane is the roll rate. I forgot to mention that. The roll rate is very good, actually, for what you would think would be quite a immovable plane. Yeah, the roll rate's quite good. Okay, so we got our first target. We got an F5. He is going for the bombing. We'll call it an Su-25, which has very good missiles, and I feel that we might get bombed off the face of the earth of that. So let's pray. This guy is launching flares, which means we have got to get a lot closer to even get a shot on this guy. And that's if we want to use... He knows. He's watching. Okay, so this is going to be either guns only or pull out and just dip. I don't really want to engage a guy like this. Atrocious miss. Okay, we are not going to be able to get guns back on in time. I was hoping that we could have. I'm not up for getting blown out the sky though. And he completely fucked. My engine is my engine. My engine is not okay. Yeah, this turn rate is not very good. Let's throw down the... Okay, thrust vectoring broken. Let's save ourselves. Let's land in... Let's just parachute into the field. As you've noticed over the past few games, there's definitely major issues with this plane. Being very terrible turn rate. No countermeasures, which is not good already at this VR. Wow. But this plane has quite a few benefits. Firstly, its RP is insane. You can research 2000 RP in like 25 games, maybe, if that, if you do well. But it's very inconsistent. You can go from 3 kill gains to immediate death by missile or death to terrible turn rate. The other thing is the guns on this are very hard to predict. Something like the Jaguar is a little bit easier to work with. The guns are just... Once you get used to them... So, this is the conundrum I have with this plane, is it's very inconsistent. When it first came out, I believe it was 10.0, which obviously would have never been a good BR for a plane like this, which is why it's brought down. I don't think it has a place in 9.3 though. That is the issue. I think you could do some workarounds to have this in 9.3, but I just don't know if they could pull it off due to the insaneness of the SRAMs, and then people with less flares, obviously at 9.3, pretty much nobody has flares at 9.3, would make that basically impossible. So it's definitely one of them planes that are just super specific to each case. I think having this in more of a stable, non-up tier and down tier situation would be an improvement, but that's just the overall matchmaker. We're going to engage this F. Okay, we missed our shots, but nobody's following us. We missed our first missile launch. I'm gonna launch the missile out here. It's not gonna reach before it detonates. This AV-8 is engaged in a different battle. We're gonna go for this plane over here. Oh my, it struck our engine. That was a really bad evasion tactic. We're gonna go for this. No. I was gonna go for the AI plane to get some points. Our engine's still operational, which is actually impressive. I would not have expected that. I'm not sure how much capability we can get out of this, but I don't think it's gonna be a lot. I mean, we're already starting to cook a little bit. Oh god. We've got an F5 on us. He was just super kill hungry. He missed though? Where is he? He's up here. I couldn't get missiles off. Our engine is still producing some level of thrust. I feel like if we tried to head back to base, we wouldn't last long. I'm gonna try and cut into these A10s and stuff like that. Try and gain a little bit of altitude out of this, which means we'll have more energy. Let's get some acceleration. We're basically burning a hole in this engine. This maneuvering is all gone. Any sort of movement in this plane is forbidden. It's forbidden. I'm basically waiting for death to come at this point. I've got one missile left. I can't pull. It's time to limp back to base now. I'm not sure how well that's gonna go. We're in the tree. So, as you can see, this plane is very situational. It's very good in certain BR ranges, especially in a down tier. It just dominates, but it's in a weird position where in an up tier it just cannot sufficiently or consistently stand on its own two legs. It requires the help of teammates basically, and I would consider this plane pretty similar to the Sea Vixen in the fact that it's very difficult to fly this thing. Basically, it's got terrible turn rate. The fighting capabilities aren't really there. If you get good with the guns, they're okay. I've had a few hits with the gun where it's been a crit though. Overall, this plane's okay. I would give it a 7 out of 10, possibly. I'm sure if you get the upgraded versions of the Harrier, especially with flares, it would be pretty good. I'm not sure about it. I'm really not. The missiles are good enough though. The pull's crazy, as you've seen in the few clips of me getting kills in this. But the Harrier experience is just not that great. Thanks guys for watching this terrible but fun jet experience. Yeah.